Welcome to Wager Talk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. Friday is here, big time weekend. And also, Wager Talk Today is home of the Thursday Hammer, which keeps hitting, and it keeps hitting, and my free plays keep losing, and I'm getting sick of this shit, Dan. What do we got on today's show?
Well, Andy, we got a free play whip. We got right at the top. We'll get Wager Talk Today. This one's gonna go through. I like our thought process on this one. All joking aside, though, man, the Thursday Hammer. We joke about it. We gave out. We found a guy who made a 5-leg money line parlay. He hit 4 of the 5 legs and then got killed on the last one. It's a great teaching moment. You don't need to add that last leg, especially when the last leg is minus 175. You know, just live with the 4-legger. But we grab ours on the Brewers. But let's get after it today, Andy. We got Teddy covers your NFL preseason primer that Teddy's got coming your way. You don't want to miss that. Marco's going to give you some winners in the WNBA. But Andy, right here at the top, we just need to see one go through. I mean, like you said, the free plays have been a bit of a kiss of death, at least this week. But I will say, client play hit the Raiders last night. No sweat. I know people love it when I say it was a rocking chair winner. They comment below, say, Dan, that wasn't a rocking chair winner. We get it home, Andy. Let's get the Wager Talk Today play of the day.
All right, so sometimes you need some low-hanging fruit. I'm going to eat just a little bit of juice on this one, but I need a winner here. So we're going to PFL Tampa. I like Gianni Rabananoff minus 3,600 as your play of the day over Tracy Reeder. Tracy Reeder is a very short notice replacement. Gianni Rabananoff should be challenging for the championship. He should be able. I lean Rabananoff at minus 3,600 just because he's better everywhere, striking, grappling. Don't be surprised if you get the finish. So let's take a small taste of Rabananoff at minus 3,600 over Tracy Reeder. Tracy Reeder, even in his profile pic, like his eyes are closed.
It's not great.
So yeah. So. All right, we're kidding. The play of the day is not a minus 3,600. But we are going to take Chris Padilla over Nasrat Haqparast. This line has moved 10 cents towards Padilla, and I agree with the line move. I believe Gianni does as well. Haqparast has just eaten a lot of damage over the years. I mean, he's been in multiple fights where he's eaten over 100 shots. We saw him get knocked out bad by Sal Khalid, which isn't aging in the worst, but Padilla is just a very, very smart fighter. If he needs to wrestle and clinch to get the win, he can do that. If he needs to strike, he can do that. And Haqparast just doesn't have the power to get anyone out of there. Really never really has. There's not a lot of KOs on this one. So over the course of 3 rounds, I think Haqparast is on the way down. Padilla's stock is on the way up. The market's starting to agree with us. And minus 105 is still a perfectly good price. So we like Padilla over Haqparast. That's your free play of the day.
I want the 3,600 one. That'll be my play of the day. I'm going with you can go with this one, Andy. I'm going with the minus 3,600. Nobody saw it coming.
It's a joke, guys. Don't put in the comments. Typical Andy.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Typical Andy and Dan. But yes, Chris Padilla money line is what we're going with for the play of the day.
All right, some news and notes. The Jags and Panthers, I don't believe, is on the slate to be broken down. I lean the over in that one, Dan. The Panthers' defense has been truly awful in preseason. They've given up 30 and 29 points. They've looked bad in joint practices, according to reports. And the Jags' total first game was 44. Carter Bradley was good for the Jags, so I lean the over in that one. We're not going to talk Valkyries and Sky with the guest, but I lean Valkyries over 84.5 team total. They're coming off a putrid 66-point performance against the league. They shot 32% from the field, and the Chicago Sky have given up over this total to opponents 6 out of the last 7 games. Good and bad news in tennis. Alcaraz is in, coming off the wrist injury. Unfortunately, Yannick Sinner has just announced he is out. The knee injury has not healed up from Wimbledon. So we get Alcaraz. We do not get Sinner. Longest winning streak in MLB with 6 straight wins. Did you know it's your Phillies, Dan? They have
they're red hot right now, man. Absolutely red hot. I think they're starting a new series. They were off on Thursday. So still, Braves don't stop losing, so they're still trailing. I think it's 5.5 game back there in the division. But they're smoking right now. They're smoking.
The second team with the highest winning streak with 5 straight wins is your 55-74 Kansas City Royals. Baseball is always going to baseball, man. It's just,
baseball is going to baseball.
We got a lot of fantasy football drafts coming off. Stribling for the 49ers continues to be the big winner of NFL preseason. It's going to be interesting because typically rookies in that Shanahan offense don't do well, but he's played so well and they are so thin at wide receiver. He's going to be moving up in draft boards. And do you have the AI sprinting robot?
Oh yeah, let me share.
I'm
this
obsessed.
For you
obsessed
in
with
case
this
people
video.
Missed it. Yeah, here I'll share my screen so you can see it. Yeah, so this is one of my favorite videos, Andy. I think I could watch it 1,000,000 times over.
I have watched it 1,000,000 times over. I cannot get enough of this.
All right, here we go. Check this out. The stumble backwards, Andy. Please inject the stumble backwards into my veins. Like, this is, if I ever worried about robots taking my job, at least soon, this stumble backwards makes me feel much better.
I don't understand how that is physically possible to have a robot run. Like, I thought it was fake until the guy with the remote walked into the frame, and I was like, oh my God, we are cooked. And then when he's running, you're like, oh, we're cooked. But then when he runs into the pad, you're like, okay, we're fine.
I know, RJ, I know it doesn't look real. This is a part of the they're doing like a robot Olympics, I guess. This is in Beijing. So yes, it does not look real. We did not get got by AI though. That truly happened. That is unfortunately, I saw it. One of the trying to regain its balance.
It did. It was kind of impressive.
It was I also saw, Andy, somebody commented and Cam Scattaboo enters the open field.
This is good, Seth. This is how my fantasy football team goes into the playoffs, running through the regular season and then hits the wall in the playoffs. So I need one more update from you, Dan, and then we gotta you sent me an interesting one. We probably have to bring in Gianni for this one. Must win practice. Did they win the practice?
Yeah, yesterday was a must-win for the Philadelphia Eagles at their joint practices against the Patriots. That's according to Philadelphia media. Apparently, they did win, Andy. They, quote, came out motivated to bounce back from a bad day one. And according to at least one Philadelphia beat writer, the Eagles did win their must-win practice on day 2, although A.J. Brown continues to eat all of their corners as lunch. So that's great. That's great.
All right, well, let's bring in Gianni. We see Jackpot there in the background.
Jackpot,
hi, Jackpot. There's
in the house, buddy.
Hi, bud.
There he is with lamb chop.
Living the dream.
Let's just say Jackpot did hit the jackpot. It's all about who you end up with. So
yeah, he's got
Gianni, this got Dan sent this to me. What if any live stream could become a prediction market, such as you're filming someone waiting for their Uber and you get to bet on will the Uber arrive in under 2 minutes? Or what if a guy goes and approaches a girl and you get to live bet on a platform, will he get her phone number?
It's coming.
No, it's here. That's what this, I've just pulled it up here, Gianni, so you can see it. So this is, I guess, crash market. So as far as, everyone's bitching about the prediction markets, this, that, and the other thing, this is talking about, how these streamers are all like going out there, whether they're eating out at a restaurant, whatever they're doing games and whatever. Now they're going to offer crazy micro markets of, is this dude going to finish his speed run under X amount of time? Like, what this sounds like a Black Mirror episode, Gianni. Like, what thoughts on this? Because this is another level of a potential inside trading and market manipulation. What do you think about when you hear this from your days, being around this industry that is a completely different industry now?
We're watching the fall of the Roman Empire happen again. That's it. History repeating itself once again. That's all we're witnessing. This is exactly what happened at the end of every big civilization. insanity. People start to lose their mind. We can't define what a man is, what a woman is. We can't, like, society starts to break down. And that's a perfect example of society breaking down. That's all that is. That's all that is. We went from, in my one lifetime, I was taught to just say no and to never bet on college sports, to never gamble. That's what I was taught my whole upbringing. And now everywhere I look, they're telling me I should hit the dispensary and go bet a parlay. Like the message has changed drastically just within 20, 30 years. That's what we're witnessing. I mean, we're joking about it, but it is. It's the demise of a civilization that you're seeing happening before our eyes. And it doesn't happen over 10 years, 20 years, 30-year period. This is like 50, 60 years in the making. And you just feel it's at the end. And you notice it with our economy, with the dollar losing value and all of that. It's just what is going to be the catalyst to stop this bull? I don't know. But whether it's war or depression, something has to awaken. Give us an awakening, because again, we joke about it, but when you get to those levels where we're just doing nonsense.
Counterpoint.
And encouraging people to spend their time doing that. Well,
counterpoint used to be able to smoke on airplanes. So we've made some improvements.
Sure.
We've kind of, you have a air fireball flying through the sky. So I tend to have an optimistic moment. So, before the end of
I wish I was more I try to be, but the world just made me so cynical in my old age that
it's hard to not feel beaten down,
miracles from society. I figured this is the world they created. I just got to learn how to navigate through it and trust in my faith that this is just a small, like minuscule second of our real worth of what we are. You know what I mean? That there's something awaiting us much better than this or worse.
Well, before the world ends, let's talk MLB lines and markets. That way we can.
Yes.
That's a professional segue, kids. Yes. Professional segue. Let's start with MLB today, and then we'll go to the other markets.
Yeah, we'll knock the MLB out of the way, because it'll be like yesterday. It's the Sharps versus the books, with the public using the big money line favorites to parlay with their favorite football team tonight. But they went under 6.5 Atlanta, Milwaukee. Public's going over the 6 there. Sharps under 6.5, public over 6. Philly, 904. They laid the 200, 210. I don't know if there's an injury or a pitching change or something, because they jumped from 210 to 240. So a big leap immediately. And for some reason, I'm seeing some dog money from the public. Sharps also went under 8.5 there. They went under 8.5 and 8 in Washington, Miami. They took Baltimore minus 110 and the under 8.5 and 8. They took the plus 200 on Toronto and the under 7.5. Houston all the way up to minus 165 and under 8.5. Over 7.5 Detroit. And finally, Cleveland minus the 130 and the under 11.5 and 11. That all sounds sharp to me. Like the all around key numbers of 11 and 7 and 9 and couple big dogs and even some, favorites mixed in, because that's what you're getting right now in baseball. Sharps versus the books, more or less.
What are we seeing in the markets in NFL preseason? Teddy's going to come on and break them down from an X's and O's. I really haven't seen too much movement right now. I'm sure there's some out there. What have you seen?
Yeah, here's what we're looking at with the NFL tonight. Steelers, Jets, they like the Steelers. And no surprise, Jets coming off a horrific loss. Yeah, it wasn't too ugly. They lost by a score, but they were a touchdown favorite. That's the thing. They were 5.5-point favorites, lost the game outright. Pittsburgh were dogs that won by 3 touchdowns. So no surprise, public's betting the Pittsburgh sign, especially since it's a coin flip type of game. They also like the game over, but we did get sharp money on the under from 39.5, 39, 38.5. But when it got down to 36.5, we did see some over money, which isn't surprising. 37, 38. We don't talk about key totals, but there's definitely numbers that matter more than others. And those are two of them. And then Carolina and Jacksonville, we're getting Jacksonville money here. Again, this isn't what the markets reflect because a lot of the sharp money comes in early when the lines were much different. And it happened in the Jets game and it happened in the Jacksonville game. They took Carolina, but Carolina at +3, +3.5, +2, much different number than where it sits right now. And you're getting the public, though, coming in on the Jaguars. So a difference of opinion. And the books are going to need a blowout either way. They don't want a tight game here as there's sharp money on both sides as dogs. So, again, you're getting sharps on Panthers at +3. You're getting public on the Jags at +1.5 or so. So both teams getting plus money points. I mean, not a great situation for the sports books to be in. They need a blowout there. And over from the public, but another game that got steamed under. That seems to be the trend. Sharps going under at the opener, public going over later in the week. And then finally, Green Bay and Denver. This one moved a lot from the opener of -4. Denver steam came in, no surprise. Green Bay looked awful against Pittsburgh. They were favorites in that game. They lost by 3 touchdowns. So no surprise. Denver got sharp money immediately, got out ahead of the market. Since then, public's bet Packers. They're taking the points with the Packers. But more importantly, when it got to 7, we saw some sharp money come in as well. So books know that all they got to do is get that to 7. They could limit their Bronco risk, but I don't think they're going to need to because, like I said, already starting to see Packer money from the betting public. And the public also likes that game under the total. Seeing the juiced under, but that's at 41.5, moved up from that 39-40 range. So not a lot of sharp money, but anything that came in early did bet over as opposed to the under that we're seeing come in from the public. So sharps and public do not agree today. It'll be interesting to see how these turn out. Great day yesterday, 5-1 now in the preseason. Haven't released anything tonight. This close to confirmation on one bet. Staying selective has been producing, so no reason to change that. If not, we just move on to Saturday because there's a big slate of games tomorrow also. So, yeah, football is here. And with college football on deck next week, forget about it. It's in full swing for sure.
They're starting weigh-ins at UFC. I haven't really seen much of it. Like I said, they just started. I saw a little bit money come in. Money keeps coming in on Anthony Hernandez here, Gianni. He's all the way up to -205. I haven't bet Rodriguez because I don't need to. I'm just waiting for more money to come in on Fluffy. But boy, if they do face-offs and Rodriguez is bigger than Fluffy, I would expect money to come back in. But nothing too much I'm seeing in the markets. Have you seen anything move?
No, and this is why I've one bet I've released to subscribers a 4%, and that package is out because of that exact reason. Lines are moving in my favor, kind of like last week, and by sitting back and waiting, we were able to lock in some really good numbers and do some damage. But what I can tell you, these are the ones that are sticking out already. That the recreational bettors are on heavy. Like these are parlayed in every MMA parlay has these guys on it pretty much. De Ridder, Jones, Wint, Douglas, and Barbosa. Those five are, and I would throw even Dyer in that mix. Like those are 90+%. Almost 100%. I don't even think I think they are all 100% right now. They won't end up like that. But as of right now, if the fights were going off right now, the risk would be 100% on Dyer, Barbosa, Wint, Douglas, and Jones and De Ridder. Like there's not a dollar on the other side of any of those fighters. So chalk, chalk, chalk. Who's going to spoil it at, plus 250, 300? Someone will for sure. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if 4 out of those 6 do win, or even 5 out of those 6. But I do think, they won't go 6 for 6 on those big favorites. We'll start to see, like we talked about yesterday and last week, 8 and 4, 7 and 5, as opposed to 12 and 2 favorites.
All right. Well, right before we came on, I said there's a better value than Palantir right now. Did you know that BKFC is tonight, and making his debut is our good buddy Chris Matinho?
No.
Look at him. Look at him at face-offs. Now, you want to know the best part, Gianni?
What's the line?
Matinho is minus 300. Believe me, I have locked in Michael Hernandez, his opponent, at plus money multiple times.
Oh, wow. Optics.
Yeah. One guy looks like he's ready for war. The other one looks like a bag of milk.
Yeah. Talk about optics.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know Matinho, this guy's famous for getting his ass kicked and being in like brutal fights. And now he's going to go over and fight in bare knuckle against this monster.
I saw someone in the because I kind of clicked on this by accident, and I saw someone on the chat said Rams +3. What a coincidence. That actually just got hit. I see it on my instant messaging. They want Rams +3 is what they're looking for. But I don't think that's available, because now they have up there, they'll take 2. So I wonder what it's at now, because they're willing to take plus
1.5 on DraftKings. It's already there, plus 1.5. So
yeah, they're willing to take 2 now. So something's up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. So we have a big weekend here, Gianni. So walk us through what you have up for today and for the rest of the weekend.
Yes, sir. UFC Pass is up for Saturday. Last 2 weeks, we picked up like 30 plus units, 65 units since May in MMA. No surprise. I'm coming off a losing year. Won like 5 straight years, 3 of those number 1 or number 2, but I'm coming off a losing year. So this was the best year if you were going to get my MMA. Already running hot. We still got half the year to go. Football is out. You know that. Not only do I have next Saturday college football package up already with a release, but I have the week after that, the following Saturday. We're taking advantage of those numbers. They're already out there. There's a 4% there as well. Plus week 1 NFL, 3 bets in there. A 4% teaser, and a 5% big move for week 1 of the NFL season. Again, those numbers will not be there come Sunday when those games kick off, at least most likely. And then, of course, I'll have today, if I'm able to confirm this preseason game. Otherwise, we're going to pass and move to Saturday, because, again, I'm sitting at 6-1, 5-1 or 6-1 in preseason, and going to continue to stay selective. Baseball, just going to subscribers only, unless I, able to close in some big bets. Focusing on the subscribers. And I have the Steam Room tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's Saturday. Yeah, Steam Room tomorrow. We'll go over college football, NFL, all kind of good stuff, and a big preseason slate tomorrow as well. So, yeah, a lot to get to. And, yeah, we're running hot. Just stay the course, guys. Like I told you guys in the Steam Room, bet size correctly. The rest will take care of itself, and follow that blueprint. So far, so good. And expecting huge football season. So far, we've gotten off to a good start. Last year, I had a losing preseason, and we ended up finishing number 1 in profit. So with a good preseason, we get a little lucky this regular season, and damage will continue. Best of luck to all this next couple of days, and I'll see you guys on Monday.
Thank you very much, Gianni. Have a big weekend. Appreciate you joining us, getting the weekend started here on WagerTalk Today. We have an odd record in NFL preseason, 2-0-2. So the touty way to say it is we're undefeated, 100% hit rate.
Never lost.
Or you could just say you've won half your bets in preseason. Now, in all seriousness, we liked the Raiders last night. We do get there in a little bit of a weird fashion, but that's 2 straight winners for us. So we are in play tonight. 4% best bet is up for that. We've got bare knuckle fighting championship. We got 2 plays tonight. We've got a cricket play tonight. So if you have cricket and bare knuckle fighting plays, good day for flex pass. Great day for flex pass if you have those markets. And tomorrow we got a 5% best bet and PFL. So tomorrow is a good day for flex passes as well, because we're probably going to have preseason as well as PFL and UFC. So that's over at wt.buzz/AL. If you want a package, we've got about 10 days left for the buy 3 days, get 3 free. So that takes you through the weekend. Sunday, we already have auto racing best bets that are up. So a lot of good things going, feeling good coming off of that Raiders win, Dan.
Heck yeah. And like we were joking, Andy, it was never in doubt, but it was funny because we were kind of joking before, and Teddy Covers came on, and we can actually bring in Teddy. And Teddy even mentioned, he was like, guys, it wasn't like you just completely backdoored it. You said the handicap was that the Raiders should get their asses kicked to start the game. And then the second half is where the covers happened. And Teddy Covers, that's where our cover did take place, right?
Yeah, so you were like, oh, we got lucky, and so I like Houston yesterday, but Houston didn't have any edges after halftime. You had Graham, Mertz got hurt, so you're bringing, was it Rippon, who was not, who had no time with the team. He was going to go for most of the second half. Meanwhile, the Raiders had O'Connell, who was coming off a really terrible showing in the first game, had something to prove, and a guy who's had NFL starting experience, relatively recent NFL starting experience. So I thought the Raiders did have edges in the second half. Now, you're not going to have that many games be that one-sided early that you're going to come back and cover. But the handicap of the game was Raiders have the edge after halftime. When do point spreads get covered? After halftime. So, I'm not going to call it a raw right side, but I don't know that it was as wrong a side as you're making it out to be.
All I know is if you checked the temperature on Andy and I after the Mendoza pick, again, early on in the game, what are you going to do? You can't panic early on in the game, but the 80 yards the other way, Teddy, I was like, wait, this is supposed to be the good quarterback that's in. But like you said, Teddy, that's the cap was second half was where the Raiders could make their push, and that's exactly what took place. And Teddy, go ahead if you have anything else before you start getting into
So before we go any further, I want to give you, would you guys give out a 3,600 minus 3,600 favorite? I want to give about I want to make sure I give at least a minus 3,700 favorite and explain how civilization is going to end any time. That's what our viewers are looking for. So let's get straight into the end of civilization and fourth. No, come on, let's talk some preseason football. You ain't getting that from me, guys.
Yeah, that's not coming from our man Teddy Covers, but what is coming is terrific breakdowns that only he can drop here in the preseason and the regular season as well. Teddy, this one is settling in. You heard Gianni earlier talking about how society is collapsing and how we're all going to die, but he was also talking about how the Sharps are all over the Steelers, yet we're still seeing 1.5. There are some ones out there for the Jets, 37.5, pretty much painted on the total. How are you looking to break this one down, Teddy?
Sure. And let me start with this. Nothing but respect for Gianni, and I'm just tweaking him. I'm just giving him a little flick in the ear. It's what we do. It's funny. At least I thought it was funny. Maybe it's not. But nothing but respect for that man, and obviously his clients. Very happy with him right now. When we talk about the Jets and the Steelers, the money has come for the New York Football Jets, and if you've been following the money this preseason, you haven't done very well. So far. Basically, all the money moves have lost. And it happened again yesterday. But the sharp money has come for the Jets in this ballgame. And I understand why. And I'm not going to go against it in this instance. I'm really not. Pittsburgh played well last week. They had a particularly good second half against Green Bay. The Jets had a particularly bad second half last week against Tampa. Remember, they led that game 10-0, and they were outscored 24-6 the rest of the way. So one team's coming off an abnormally good second half showing in the preseason. We don't expect the same thing necessarily to happen 2 weeks in a row. One guy abnormally good, the other one coming off abnormally bad. So where's the energy? Where's the urgency? The urgency is on the Jets side. We look at this Pittsburgh piece of the equation and quarterback rotation of last week. Not the same. Mason Rudolph, not going to see any action today. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers not going to see any action for the entirety of the preseason. So that leaves you with Will Howard to go the first half and Drew Aller to go the second half. And while that duo did fine last week, that is not a bet on QB duo, not by any stretch of the imagination. Drew Allen in particular, who had a nice catch and run last week and a couple of touchdowns and long drives, and Howard had a long touchdown drives. We have to tap the brakes on these sort of things when they're coming against third and fourth string defenders that aren't playing anything but vanilla schemes. And in this bettor's opinion, and certainly in the betting marketplace's opinion, we're seeing the market saying, tap the brakes on Drew Allen. Tap the brakes on Will Howard. This is not a duo that's expected to light up the scoreboard. The Jets had all kinds of issues last week with mistakes. They threw a pick six. They had. It's worth noting one more thing about Pittsburgh. By the way, they do have all kinds of injuries in the secondary, which could be a problem for this one. But all indications are that Geno Smith's going to go, and the starters are going to get playing time for the Jets tonight. Cade Klubnik left the game with a 10-0 lead last week, and Bailey Zappi and Brady Cook are two guys who you would expect some success from. These are not undrafted rookie free agents. These are guys that have been in camp. Zappi's a guy who started games at this level. So I understand the Jets' money, agree with the Jets' money, and if I'm playing, I'm laying. Last week was last week. Jets are passed for this better. Full breakdown of this game available for this game and Green Bay, Denver on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. So check out WagerTalk TV on YouTube.
More reasons than ever to subscribe, including Teddy's breakdowns on those games. We're going to get his thoughts, however, right here on his up-to-the-minute thoughts on this Packers and Broncos game. But, Teddy, before that, why don't you let them know what you got rocking with? I know there is a play that you are very excited for. And, folks, if you want to get the play, get the play. But we have some great deals that you can take advantage of getting some more long-term action, Teddy.
Sure. So I don't put out a lot of 5% big ticket plays. There's a game that absolutely jumped off the page at me tonight. The more work I did on it, the more I liked it. We're locked and loaded. 5% big ticket tonight. We had two of them in July. We won them both. So we'll see if we can keep it rolling into mid-August. You can get that play right now on my page, wt.buzz/TC. You can get it for $35. You can get my all-access pass today for $39. You can get a 3-day pass for $69. I encourage you. A 6-day, buy 3 days, get 3 free for $69. They're all good deals. But if you're serious about partnering up, promo code Teddy50 is going to get you every play, every day from today through the Super Bowl. Normally priced $5.99, you get $50 off. Teddy50 gets my NFL season. That includes the win report that you'll get right now. You get on board at WagerTalk.com, wt.buzz/TC.
Yeah, that one's a no-brainer. Teddy50, and it will not be available for much longer. So, folks, take advantage of that while you still can. And get that 5%er included. Get that win report. No-brainer right there, Teddy. All right, let's talk this Green Bay Packers game as they are taking on the Denver Broncos. And Broncos, I mean, this is just the money printer in preseason. Now we see them as 6-point favorites, Teddy. So is it still too low? They need to be bigger favorites? What do you think for this Packers and Broncos matchup?
So when you talk to anyone out there in the general public, like, oh, yeah, just bet Denver and they're giving money away. Just bet the Broncos. No problem. Bet the Broncos. And the Broncos are 7-0 straight up, 7-0 ATS in August over the last 3 years, 3-0, 3-0, and then 1-0 so far this season. They returned 20 of the 22 starters they had last year. The depth is there. The defense is there. The quarterback rotation is there. Stidham and Ellinger behind Bo Nix. Nix is expected to get a little bit of action this evening. Lots of things pointing towards the Denver side of the equation. That being said, what's the great equalizer? The point spread is the great equalizer. And when we look at the Green Bay side of the equation, there's a little bit of urgency here for the Packers after getting whacked last week by Pittsburgh. Jordan Love ended up with a single drive, a field goal. He wasn't hit in that contest. Just 9 plays ran the offense. LaFleur said the starters aren't going to play in the finale. This is going to be the starters' quote-unquote extended look here in the preseason. After we see Love and company leave the field, Kyle McCord, Tyrod Taylor, those are 2 veteran QBs that are bet on in August. Green Bay slapped around last week. Jonathan Gannon was more vanilla than I expected him to be. I wouldn't be surprised a little bit more pressure here. When we talk about coaches that are going to blitz in August, those tend to be bet on teams. I just think it's too many points. I could only take the Packers plus, and I know I'm standing in front of 7-0 straight up, 7-0 against the spread. This is a lean. I did not put any money on Green Bay plus, but in this point spread range, it's the only way I could look. I think Denver is being appropriately priced right now. They may win this game. I'm not convinced they're going to cover this inflated number.
I like the breakdown there, Teddy. And if you want to get the earliest breakdowns you can, opening line report. Be one of the over 5,000 people that checked out week 2 edition. It's only going up, folks. We got the preseason rocking along, Teddy, every single Monday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. on the West Coast for you. You're getting up and you're getting after it and hopefully getting some folks on the right side of these line moves. Tell the folks about the show going every single week.
So look, I don't say the best all the time. I'm not the best handicapper in the world. I'm not the best. This is the best NFL show that you're going to find on a Monday morning. All right, on a Monday, and for an early week NFL show, it's to set the week, to set the stage, to tell you where the numbers are going to go, to give you emergency betting alerts, to talk about where we expect the numbers to go. More information on Monday at 8 a.m. You're going to find anywhere else on the internet. I encourage you, watch it live. If not, watch the replay. Of course, you can have it on my homepage every week, www.buzz.com/TC. But the better bet, just subscribe to WagerTalk TV on YouTube. We have 250,000 subscribers for good reason. Our content's second to none. Check it out. Again, youtube.com, WagerTalk TV on YouTube. And, of course, like, follow, subscribe. You know all to do. You guys know what to do.
You come for the breakdowns and you stay for the doodly oops. Yes, the alarm still comes your way for the emergency betting alert. The doodly oops, there's nothing better, folks. So tune in, get those emergency betting alerts live. It lets you know whether you got to wait or if you want to bet on a team right this second. So, Teddy, always a pleasure. Best of luck on that 5%er, and we'll recap it coming up Monday morning, brother.
I look forward to it. Cheers, guys.
That's Teddy Covers, WT.buzz/TC. One more time on the way out, that code Teddy50. Hop on board, get every play through the Super Bowl, and save a good amount on that. So check that out over at Teddy's page. Teddy50 is the code there, Andy.
Yeah, boy, the show's come a long way. Quite different than
it was. Yeah, the thing is, you never know what you're going to get with Gianni, and like Teddy said, we love it. That's why we have him on here. 3 out of the 5 days of the week. But yeah, you lob one up for Gianni. Sometimes you're just along for the ride, brother.
There had to have been at least one segment where Prez said it was the end of the world.
Oh,
there had to have been one. I refuse to believe that there wasn't
Teddy nodding
one.
along in the backstage. He's saying, "Oh yeah," but two hands. Teddy's saying 2 hands, Teddy. At least 2 hands.
Oh, take the over. Exactly.
take the over, indeed. Yeah, it's a new frontier.
Normally, it's when he loses a 5% bet. That's the signal of the end of the world. We're going to break down Bucky Irving over under rushing yards as our NFL future of the day after Marco. And Dan and I are we're going to talk Mendoza last night because I think you and I have. I don't know. We'll get to that, but we got to bring in Marco. We got to talk about WNBA. We got to talk about Adeli. Marco, happy Friday. How are you?
Good. Exciting weekend coming. Really like the Friday card and looking forward to cashing some tickets, guys.
Heck yeah.
Are you looking forward to seeing your Steelers, or are you don't really care too much? I tell you, Drew Aller, I'm just saying.
As I said last week, they fooled me once. I got a Kenny Pickett shirt in my closet that's worthless. I'm just pumping the brakes, guys. Just hang in there. We'll see what happens. But personally, I do like Drew Aller over Will Howard. And I think that's what you're going to see tonight. And they're doing the right thing. They're letting Will Howard go first. He was here first, so he's getting the first crack to start, and I think they'll probably flip-flop that next week because the decision has to be made. You can't carry 4 quarterbacks. And you're going to go Mason Rudolph for the insurance policy because he's started in the NFL. He knows, the Steeler organization. He's been here forever, and it's going to be one of the two. And if I'm a betting man, I'm betting on Drew Aller simply because that was Mike McCarthy's pick. Will Howard was Mike Tomlin's pick.
I didn't even realize that. That's an uphill battle for Will Howard.
Yeah, and you know what? One of the greatest quotes of all time from a head coach, and I quote it all the time because I love it. Remember when Bill Parcells said, "If you want me to cook the dinner, let me buy the groceries," and that's why it'll be Drew Aller over Will Howard.
All right, well, let's talk WNBA. We've got the Lynx and the Mystics. Fire versus the Tempo. Let's start with the Lynx and the Mystics. I think this is a sneaky good game. I got a pretty strong opinion on this one. I'm interested in your take. What do you make of this game?
Well, guys, this play could have actually been a 5% play until the line crashed. Okay. This is a great segue spot for me to say, hey, coming up later today, Marco's Deli, because this is a deli special here with the Minnesota Lynx traveling to Washington. You look at this situation, and I got to say, started off, Minnesota is by far and away the best team in the WNBA. Okay. I've been, singing their praises all year. But there's situational spots that just are ugly. And this is a big time scheduling situation. And we've talked about it so many times, Andy, on the show. I don't know who does the WNBA schedule because it just does not make sense the way they make these teams travel. The only thing I can figure is the person that is doing it is really pretty smart, and they're probably booking all of the flights themselves so that they get the miles for their account. And they've got a ton of free vacations coming later on with the way they've made teams crisscross the country. You've got Minnesota finishing a 4-game road trip. They finished off playing Wednesday night, a late game in Golden State, and now travel from San Francisco, cross country, cross 2 time zones, 3-hour difference to play on Friday night in Washington. Makes absolutely no sense. And as I said, you could be the best team, but not every game means it the same. And the last 2 games that they played were against Vegas, in Vegas, and at Golden State. The next 2 teams that I have ranked in the WNBA, those are the 2 competitors that are going to make the most noise with Minnesota this year. They won both of those games. Now they play Washington. This is an absolute sandwich spot, because look who they play next. When they travel home, they play Golden State in a quick revenge game again for Golden State. So their eyes are going to be there. And the coach has already sent a message. Yes, load management has hit the WNBA. Nafisha Collier is not going to play tonight, and that's why the line has crashed. If you remember, she missed most of the season. She came back just before the All-Star break. And they're, monitoring her minutes and making sure everything's okay. They're going to rest her tonight. She's their best player. Now, they know how to play without her because they played all year without her. But to me, if there was ever a throwaway game for Minnesota, it's this one. And Washington's playing good basketball. They're 9-2 straight up their last 11 games. And guess what? The 2 losses were back-to-back games against Vegas, in Vegas. And even though they failed to cover the spread in both of those, the spread was not decided until the final 2 minutes of both of those games. I know, I was there watching them. I'll take Washington tonight plus the points. They are a very live dog. I would have loved to have this when it was sitting at 5.5, even got up as high as 6.5 briefly. And then the news came out about Collier and the line just crashed, but there's still value with Washington.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is a Mystics money line sprinkle as well. So yeah, you covered all the points. I did a same game parlay video, and we were talking like the exact same thing. So, all right, the Fire and the Tempo. Here's an interesting game. Either team playing a lot of defense, but the offenses haven't exactly been on. No pun intended, but not exactly been on fire. Sorry,
that was just bad. That was just bad. Come on, Andy. You can do better than that.
Listen. I didn't mean to do that. It just happened. It's like when you spill something. Like I didn't mean to spill it. It just kind of happened. What are we doing with this Fire and Tempo game tonight?
All right. So first of all, this game's being played in Vancouver. Okay, so it is not Toronto's home floor, even though they're listed as the home floor. home team, I should say. Portland actually playing well right now. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, and the only loss in that 5-game stretch was a 4-point loss to Minnesota, which we've talked about, best team in the league. They are 5-0 against the spread during that stretch, and they've held 4 of the 5 opponents to 85 or fewer points. Now, if you follow the WNBA at all, that's pretty good because most teams are scoring a ton of points. So Portland's actually playing a little bit of defense. Now Toronto, they've been just the total opposite. This is a team, they've lost 12 games in a row. They have gone 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 because they have been some big double-digit underdogs in those. But this is a ridiculous scheduling spot again. They played Indiana at home on Tuesday night. Then they flew, and I'm talking about Toronto. Then they flew to Washington on Wednesday to play the very next night, only to then again fly across country from Washington to Vancouver for this Friday game. That's 3 different cities in 4 days. Absolutely ridiculous. Their defense is getting run over. They've allowed 92 or more points in 11 straight games, with 6 of the 11 games going over 100 points for their opponents. And Portland has a huge rest edge. They haven't played since the 16th. So although this looks like we should be just jumping on Portland, I'm just not ready to do that. They've already beaten this team twice this year. In the line, it just almost looks a little bit too easy to me to grab Portland in this one. And it's playing on, the quirky neutral, home court neutral. I don't like it. But what I do like is I like Toronto team total to be held under 91.5. Now, I have seen this line dipped since we went on air. I'm seeing some 90.5s. I still like it to go under. I don't think they get over 85 in this game. And the reason for that is when you talk about tired teams, your legs, the fatigue. And if you've ever played basketball, when your legs aren't there, your jump shot's not there. And the way Portland's been playing defense lately, I think you're going to have Toronto struggle offensively. I'm going to take the team total under, and they're playing in a building they're not familiar with. That's another reason. Start out slow, get adjusted to the arena. I'm going to go ahead and take under 90.5. If you can still find a 91.5, obviously that's better, but we'll go team total under on Toronto.
Seth wants to know thoughts on the Sparks openly tanking and how we make money off of it. I have a lot of regrets in my life, but not taking the Dream last night. What were they, like 6.5 or 8.5, and they only won by 1,000 against the Sparks. I have regrets there, but yeah, are we doing? I mean, they're favorites tomorrow, but it's against the Sun. It
is in the Sun. I watched them play last night over at Michelob Ultra Arena, and they're not a good team. Not a good team. Hey, it was a profitable night. I tailgated last night in the poker room before the game. A lot of tourists in town. There's a big Guns N' Roses concert at Allegiant Stadium this weekend, and I had a couple hours to kill before the game, and well, let's just say we had some stacks at the poker table.
Hell yeah.
Had a couple hours and a couple fish to kill.
And there was a guy, you guys talked about the football game in your Raider play. If I ever wanted to run to the window and make an in-game wager, one of the fish at the table was just chirping away because he had Houston. He couldn't get enough of betting Houston. He actually even got up. It actually even got up and went and bet more live in game.
Oh man.
Nothing like you have a team that's up 17-0 and you're like, let me bet more on them. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's
the only thing I regret is I had to leave to go to the Aces game and miss the meltdown of seeing him at the table in the fourth quarter. I'm just cruel.
You could have taken a lot of money from at the poker table because that's full tilt. That is the definition. Yeah. He would have gone all in on 7-8 suited or something.
Yeah.
So, Rex wants to know if you have any thoughts on Saturday's Pacific Classic, specifically who has opinion on the Japanese horse
going to be working on that this afternoon and this evening. So we'll have some thoughts. We'll have a couple races from Del Mar, and I'll be looking at some spot plays from Saratoga, but obviously Pacific Classic Day attention goes to Del Mar. Kind of bummed I'm not going to be there this year for it, but I have a buddy that's got a horse in one of the undercard races, 300K race. So I'll be rooting for him. King of Gosper is the name of the horse.
Nice. Good luck to him and good luck to you. What do you have up for everybody?
Guys, I've got a 5% tonight in Major League Baseball. And you guys know I don't put out fives all the time. I've only had 15 of them since March 1st. I haven't had one in 3 weeks. There's a play in baseball tonight that, it checks every box that I look to check whenever I'm looking for a baseball game. And then it has a couple boxes that got checked that don't come up very often because there's special situational things. And I'm going with this play. Released it as a 5%. You can get it over at WagerTalk right now. It's $35 by itself, but you would be absolutely silly to do that. $4 more if you want to get the entire card today, $39. But the best deal would be grab 3 days for $69. That'll get you, all the plays, all the sports, including any of the horses I throw in there. And you get 3 bonus days. So for $69, you're going to pick up 6 days. And guys, take advantage of that $69 special because it is going away very soon. Take advantage of it. Head over there. And if you want long-term, you want to jump on board, you like the way I break games down, and you like my style, we're low volume, generally 1 to 3 plays, weekends a little more, maybe 3 to 5. You can grab the rest of the year, I should say, calendar year, all sports, $7.99. What a deal. That's every sport. Think about it, guys. The next 4 or 5 months, everything's going to be in play. You've got, baseball playoffs. You've got the NBA will be starting, college basketball in November. You've got football is here, college and pro. Get it all. And the WNBA too. Don't forget that. We're running 4 years. We're hitting 60% in the WNBA. So let's grab a package and get it all, guys. And let's have a big weekend.
Absolutely,
Deli too.
Marco.
Don't forget, Deli's coming up later today. We'll be doing Marco's Deli, and we have a bonus bet on it you guys wanted. We covered the big conferences. You said, what about the little guys? Don't forget the little guys. We don't discriminate at WagerTalk. So, all right, we came back and talked about the little conferences, and that's out as well for bet on it.
Whether Kelly knows what they're called or not, Marco, we talked about them. That's
I don't know. We're what was she calling it? The game.
She was calling it the game of 5, and I'm like,
yeah,
Kelly, is this like a new slot that you've been playing? Like, what is so? We did figure it out. The group of 6 is what we will be calling it moving forward. But you can get the bet on it edition right here on the channel, Marco. Thank you, brother.
All right, have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you, Marco. How has nobody talked about the Braves Brewers total 5.5 or 6? Because I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
If you tell me there's value on a certain side, fine, but I can't.
That was exactly what I saw, Andy, when you're so used to these lines and what you typically see in baseball that when you have one of those outliers like that, it's just I personally find it as a stay away. But yes, we are aware that is an insanely low total. Yeah. Guys at Total Bases did a good job breaking down that game and all the other games. So if you want some specific baseball info, you can have them. I'll blow through PFL here real quick. They don't have any of the props or the round totals out. So Cyborg's retirement fight. I say retirement fight. She's going to box, but this is like her MMA retirement. She's minus 360. I agree with the move up on her. This is not your typical retirement fight. They don't want her to lose. So they're bringing in Ketlin Vieira, who is low volume and not a great wrestler. So I went over Rabadanov,
Tyler Santos, money's coming in on her opponent. Not sure I agree with that. I would take Tyler Santos, but it's minus 162, so pass. We love Luke Traynor over Roland Dunlap. Luke Traynor is one of these guys where it's tough to get in matches. Nobody around his like ranking wants to fight him because he's so good. So we like Luke Traynor. Indebelli, I believe, is a live dog against Marceli Alves, but at the same time, Indebelli comes off this PFL Africa tour, which those guys are hard to trust. Daniel Marcos making his PFL debut. I think he might be motivated coming off of UFC. The guy just won over at UFC, and then UFC said we didn't want him. That should be a good fight. Lean Marcos. Money is coming in on Ibragimov against Javi Basharat. Basharat is kind of a prick. That's one of the reasons why UFC didn't want it. And when I say kind of, I mean he is an absolute prick. He's a boring fighter. That's why they got rid of him. This could be where he shows up, throws a fit, is mad he's not in UFC, and loses as a minus 225. So other than that, I think the rest of the favorites are good to go. This guy, Sheridan, who's minus 650, we're going to get this guy, Dan. We're going to get this guy. This is not the fight to get him, but he's going to be big-time favorites in a bunch of fights coming up, and he is an absolute he's a giraffe. He's so tall that guys can't get inside, but he is, man. He's a million feet tall, but he's so hittable, and someone's going to knock that man into oblivion. So there's your PFL breakdown. All right, let's do Bucky Irving, and then we'll talk Mendoza here. So Bucky Irving, over under 799.5 rushing yards. So 17 games in 2024, he rushed for 1,122. Only played 10 games last year, 588. The depth chart is Bucky Irving, Kenny Gainwell, Sean Tucker. PFF has the Bucs ranked as a top 3 offensive line, potentially number 1 at the end of the year if these guys can stay healthy. So that's a big pro for the over here. Last year, Rashad White played 17 games. He had 132 carries, 572. He's now replaced by Gainwell. The big thing for me is trying to figure out Zach Robinson and his offensive scheme here. He's going to be the offensive coordinator. He runs a spread-based offensive system. What I've read is saying should use Bucky Irving and Gainwell, not the exact same usage, but Irving not going to be a true bell cow. Gainwell getting a lot of usage. But I got to tell you, I went back and looked at his offenses. Bijan, 1,400 yards in Atlanta the last couple of years. And before that, he was at Atlanta. And as long as the starting running back played a good amount of games, they were getting over. And do you know, two of the running backs that went over this total, this feels like it was 100 years ago. Mm-hmm. Todd Gurley.
Wow.
Oh, here's the one that'll blow your mind. Sony Michel.
Dude, he was a darling there for a little bit.
Doesn't that feel like that was a lifetime ago that Todd Gurley and Sony Michel? Yeah. Wow. So
that's a name I did not expect to hear here on a Friday, Andy.
Me either. I was going through the Rams.
So it sounds like you're over. You feel like this is low if you factor all that in.
I'm worried that he only played 10 games last year. It could be a fluke, whatever. But if there is any type of injury, Sean Tucker has proven to be serviceable. Kenny Gainwell has been proven to be serviceable. So this is kind of one of those things where it's like, why would you put him out there? That being said, if he plays all the games, I think he flies over this total. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's young. Maybe it was a fluke injury last year. I would lean to the over, but am I betting it? No.
Here's my thing, Andy, is the 2024 bursting onto the scene feels like it is ancient history. And it's really easy to say, oh, well, if he stays healthy, I like this, if he doesn't. So I just looked into his splits, you know what I mean? Because I feel like we're still talking about Bucky Irving like he is that guy who burst onto the scene. So that year, he was 4th in yards per carry, 1st in yards after contact per carry. He was 6th in explosive rush rate, and he was 4th in tackles avoided. So he was shifty. When he would get hit, he was a top runner. Last year, Andy, even before the injury, so this is before he was injured, he started missing games, 33rd on yards per carry, 33rd
Ooh.
contact after per carry, 32nd in explosive rush rate, and 19th in his avoided tackles per carry. So he wasn't as shifty. He wasn't breaking through contact. He seems like he's slowing down a little bit. So for me, Andy, adding a Kenny Gainwell, having that that Tucker insurance and the injury concern, I don't know if I would bet the under, Andy, but I can't bet an over on a guy who sometimes, if you're a guy who is injured a lot, that's just that's what your career will be. Now, Bucky Irving, I would like him to go back to that 2024, but even when he wasn't injured, we didn't see that in 2025, except for outside a little burst. So for me, Andy, I lean more towards the under in this one. However, I am intrigued to see how this offense works out, because I think there can be a lot of potential for this offense. But as far as holding on to a future, 799 and a half, just not there for me. I'm on the under with Bucky.
That number's pretty good. That's a pretty accurate
Agreed.
number there. I couldn't find value either or. So sorry, can't come to the exact conclusion to make a client play out of it. But what can we say? The books are pretty good at setting these numbers.
And Lambert also, Jason Lambert makes a good point here about who's going to get the red zone yards, who's going to get the red zone carry. As a rookie, I think Irving saw 13 carries inside the 5-yard line, just 13 carries. And then last year, I think that was about the same. Yeah, I remember those. Andy, actually in his sophomore season inside the 5, he had 0 touches inside the 5. So again, we're talking about yardage, but I'm just talking about usage for you fantasy players as well. Kind of worries. There's not much touchdown upside with this guy. So
yeah. Tread lightly with Bucky in your fantasy drafts.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get out of here, 4% NFL best bet is up. 2 bare knuckle fighting plays. We got a cricket play that's up. 5% UFC goes off tomorrow. PFL's tomorrow. We're 2-0-2 in NFL, so looking to make that 3-0-2. And I was watching intently on the Raiders game because we had a play on it. But let's talk Mendoza.
Yeah.
He's a polarizing figure, and he was in the spotlight last night with this play and his interviews. Where do you stand on him?
So it's funny because before, when we were just talking about, we covered with the Raiders, let's go, it was awesome, you know what I mean? And then I just kind of said to you, I was like, we're in agreement that Mendoza is going to end up being a nothing burger in the NFL. And then you said, let's talk about that on air, which makes me feel like you don't see it the same. So here's my thought on Mendoza. I thought coming out, he was pretty raw. I think I love the personality. He's a guy who I want to succeed, but then when you just watch him play, there isn't, in my opinion, much fluidity to him in the passing game. It seems like his mechanics are really labored, and a lot of his power comes from his chest as opposed to torquing from the hips, as opposed to, maybe torquing your elbow a little bit more, which again would lead to a short career. But it just seems like his passes, when he's putting oomph behind them, it's so labored. Again, in my opinion, I'm not a professional scout, anything like that. But to me, it just seems like it doesn't seem like there's much fluidity to his game, and that's what has me concerned. I think that's something very easy to start game planning against if you're an NFL defensive coordinator. So I think Mendoza, I want him to succeed, Andy. He's a very easy guy to root for. I just don't see it when I watch him play.
I was with you when he came out of college. I thought, I don't think this game translates, but I've only watched him a little bit, and it's the body language, and there's some things that he said. So here's what I know about him. I know that he's going to be committed.
Yes.
I know that he's going to listen to his coaches. So if I know he's going to be committed and I know he's going to listen to his coaches, can he get better? And I think the Raiders have got a pretty good coaching staff there. I know it's preseason, but they were stoked to win that game last night. You didn't see that from the Raiders last year in the regular season, let alone a preseason game. And then the biggest thing was, who he's already won over? Troy Aikman. Did you hear Troy Aikman talking about him? Troy Aikman's not an easy guy to win over. And Troy Aikman was like, he's like, I kind of like this guy. Like, he's refreshing. His interview where he said, tell Joe Buck, I said, hey, it sounds like you need some love. I feel like he's going to win the locker room over. So if you're going to win the locker room over, and if you're going to listen and you're going to, be committed, that's fine. Size is there. I don't have to worry about the size. He's mobile enough to get out of trouble. Is he going to be Lamar Jackson? Of course not. But he has enough mobility to be there in this day and age. He's going to be better. He's going to be better than I thought he was. I think he's got the ability to progress and get back. He's got the intangibles, and he's got enough tangibles that I think you can work with him and make him successful. And don't forget, there are some bad quarterbacks in the NFL.
That's very fair.
He's not going to be top 5 probably, but can he be top 20 where he has a good career, where he can get you to 500, maybe even a couple of runs with a good defense? I think he can. I think he's winning me over. I'm starting to be in on him.
I think the biggest point too, Andy, like you said, is like there's going to be no rollover for him. You know what I mean? Like there's never like you think of Raiders quarterbacks in the past. He has no Jamarcus Russell in him where he will just give up. You know what I mean? Like he is a workhorse. And again, I want him to succeed. And I did say he could end up being a nothing burger. It was the thought process there. Don't think I ever used the word bust, but to the Brewster, I apologize, my friend, that I have lost all credibility for you. My favorite comment,
like and subscribe.
Hit that like button and subscribe, my friend, and we'll
Mendoza's already better.
It's already better than this is me and Wash Redskins. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it this season, my friend. But then he says it's almost here. Good luck this year, kind of.
I gotta tell you, I'm in on the Eagles. I'm in on the Eagles resurgence.
I like it. They got their must-win practice out of the way, Andy. So they did win their must. So if that's any indication on the year, oh man.
I didn't think we could take NFL hype to the next level, but must-win practice has truly exceeded my expectations. It's the best.
Great.
It's the best.
Great.
So. All right, great show today, guys. Thank you to all the guests. Absolutely rocked it. Let's cash that minus 3,600. Let's get that puppy home. And if it loses, no, I'm not adding it to the record. If it wins, I might add a half. No, I'm just kidding. We're not adding it to our record. So a lot of big plays up at the weekend. Don't forget to grab a 3-day pass. You get 3 days free. Flex Pass users. Today's a good one for me. Tomorrow's a good one as well. So take advantage of those. My plays are wt.buzz/AL. Have a good weekend. We'll be back Monday to recap everything, get you started for the next week. Good luck on your bets. We'll see you on Monday. Take care.
Mendoza.